This is more than 75% of New Zealand's population.
Indonesia is the country most prone to earthquakes and tsunamis.
On Boxing Day 2004, over 1 million became homeless.
These people are in need of help, of relief, of Bantuan, which means relief in the Indonesian language of Bahasa. Our product is prefab pine wood house, which is both earthquake-proof and environmentally friendly. This product is made of New Zealand wood and designed locally. We will be exporting the wooden panels to the port of Jakarta using a shipping company called Dynamic International. These panels are then assembled by a trade school in Indonesia.
The people left homeless by the natural disasters are the users of the Bantuan project. However, the project will be funded by Indonesian government and other aid agencies.
The competitive advantages of our product is our patented foundation design, which significantly minimizes the effect of earthquakes. It generates renewable energy through the watermill, which utilizes the high rainfall in Indonesia. The watermills are made from scrap wood from the panels, reducing costs. And unlike the bamboo alternative, it is waterproof and durable to climatic conditions.
Competitive advantages of our businesses is that by producing in Indonesia we cut our costs and also provide local employment for workers. The other advantage is that we've got a joint venture with SMK Trade School, which means that we can share expertise, we can share knowledge and we can share resources. Another advantage is that we plan to target the $250 billion the Indonesian government has set aside for construction and infrastructure development. So that was released in 2012 and it needs to be spent by 2015. So we kind of have a niche period where we can tap into that funding. The other benefit is that we're a non-profit organisation, and what that means is when we're exporting from New Zealand to Indonesia, we don't actually have to pay tax under the Indonesian charitable laws.
As you can see here, this is a simple diagram of our plan. Here you can see a floor plan which includes the bedroom, living area, a watermill, window and engine. And here you can see the water system. Indonesia has very high rainfall, so Bantuan utilizes a high rainfall and uses it to generate electricity. The leftover rain is stored in storage tanks just below and purified using just water systems. The New Zealand pine tiles are attached to the bottom of the house, houses and are embedded into the ground. This minimizes the effect of earthquakes. We have key partnerships with SMK Trade School in Indonesia, the Indonesian government, Unitec and of course Massey. And we are considering looking into using water systems supplied by Just Water. Although it is a saturated market with a large supply of empty housing units following the economic crisis, our product is low cost in a long-term perspective due to the renewable resources and energy resources and the durability of our design.
The unit price for one Bantuan house is 5,500 New Zealand dollars for the exterior of the building, and this shelters about 5 people. Because we are sharing the IP of our state-of-the-art design with the trade school, they will pay us royalty fee, and we also gain funding through charitable aid organizations.
In a world where international crisis is so prominent in our everyday lives, especially in Indonesia, businesses are becoming more and more socially aware. We are here to help. We are here to aid. We are Bantuan.
Even at my great age, standing up in front of a trained audience and trying to remember everything that's gone through your head for the previous preparation time, work with your colleagues, make sure it all gets together is a real challenge. It's always a challenge. So first point, make sure that you give yourselves time to pull the presentation together. I think a lot of you you only said the words out loud when you stood up here in front, and for most of us, that's the point where everything you want to say disappears out of your mind. So first of all, preparation, preparation, preparation. Really, really good dialogues, but I think that you needed to think about the way that you wanted to connect with us and connect with the messages that you were trying to sell along the line of the team. Secondly, very strong point that all members of the team have a role in the presentation. That many of you took different styles, many of you worked the IT facilities, you used your slide preparations or you used handouts, but you must connect everybody in the team to a role. It's very important that the judges see everyone joining in and being aware and engaged with their project. Doesn't matter what you do, you can do that in very innovative ways, and we saw some very innovative presentations, but think about that. Thirdly, make sure that your facts join up and that you don't repeat information. You're very challenged in terms of time, so make sure that each member or each entity that's being presented is discrete to itself but connects, and that you don't end up duplicating or repeating key pieces of information. And also, as we've seen, most of you clearly thought you were auditioning for the Royal Shakespeare Company or whatever is the New Zealand equivalent. And I loved it. I loved the energy, I loved the drama, I loved the humour. And that's a really vital part of connecting with your audience and making them feel that you want their attention. So key points just about your presentation. And then I think finally, one of the things that we will all say to you is really about the time you spend thinking. Once you get your thinking sorted from the beginning of project planning, give yourself the luxury of thinking time without panicking about the effort that you will need to expend in pulling it all together. What showed and I think almost every presentation, were probably those gaps where you haven't quite connected the original brainstorming and thinking and knitted it all together, and in some cases we watched it happening in front of us. So for tomorrow it's really important. Give yourselves the luxury of the planning time. Give yourself the luxury of clear brainstorming time, and then organise yourselves. Use the organisational structure that you've built into the teams today and exploit that really heavily tomorrow. So I think those would be our key points. Whoa, hopefully. I think you can be a bit louder. Okay. This was a project which was about addressing the issue of using kerosene as the fuel of choice, and about addressing the way in which Indonesian, particularly rural Indonesian populations can change their habits in terms of use of fuel for food, for cooking food, for heating themselves, for purifying water, etc. So you had a really nice idea. You worked really strongly around doing the homework that you had to do around the resourcing of your project from within New Zealand and the connectivity and relevance of that into Indonesia. Lots of interesting facts. We're not entirely sure that you knitted your facts together into a nice coherent story when you were presenting. You needed to think about that story. What's the mission statement of your company? What's your company trying to achieve and to which audience? What's the justification for that as a business plan? What's your evidence for that? And then how are you going to go about doing it? How are you going to go about creating your market and making your market work for you? So you had all these different facts. You just needed to think about threading the messages together more clearly, both in your written presentation, the business case, and then how you told that story when you gave the presentation. We'd like to see all members of the team playing. So again, think about everybody having a role in the team and being clear about what their role is. And when you're giving facts, make sure that you as I said, connect them together, but also justify why that's a useful piece of information. So you talked about the charcoal. You might want to think about the different types of charcoal are available if you ever went into that project. Again, I know you want. You talked about your competitors, but you didn't explain why they were your competitors and how you're going to manage them as your competitors. So think about those issues, that team for tomorrow. Thank you.